Hey everyone, back again, a little bit of a different video today. We are going to be looking at an effects pedal for a guitar. This pedal is the Kraken, as you can see, a beautiful painted pedal from Victory Amplification. They're based out of England, and this pedal is based off their Kraken amplifier, a very popular amplifier. I believe it's a 50 watt, but this basically takes the preamp section, tubes and all, and puts it into the form factor of a large format pedal. So as you can see, we got 2 foot switches and about 7 knobs and 1 flicker switch, and it gives you a lot of control. So I'm going to demo some of the sounds for this in a kind of an atypical setting. I had been using this pedal in absence of a guitar amp with a bass amp. So as you might have known, my bass rig is a Darkglass Microtubes 500 and an HD210 cab. So in the idea of kind of slimming down my setup, I thought I could use this preamp as a guitar amp, and it actually works pretty well. I got my demo guitar here. It's a bare knuckle humbucker pickup. I'm not exactly sure which one, but it's a bare knuckle and a Les Paul style body. So let's just do some demos for sound so you can get an idea what it does. First I'll give you the clean, then we'll get into the pedal. Okay, there you go. Feel for the clean. So let's turn the pedal on. There's 2 settings. I don't think they're channels. They're just different gain and volume settings. So let's try the first one. So with this setting, I have the gain all the way down. I had basically been using this as a clean channel. So what you're hearing is the cab mic'd up with a P2 AKG Bass Microphone and the direct output from the cab. So that's split left and right. So I've been using this as a clean tone. So this is the humbucker pickup. Let's do the coil tap. This would be the single coil sound. And then since this is a demo guitar, I can also show you a P90. So this is a P90. Okay, single coil again. A bit on the weaker end. I liked it as a nice clean sound. I mean, this Kraken's not about clean tone. I don't think anyone's buying it to be a clean tone. I'm just using it in that way because of trying to fit it into a different kind of setup than you'd think. So let's tip the gain up a little bit. Right now we have it at about 1 setting on the dial. That's about 6 o'clock. So let's 7 o'clock rather. So let's turn it up to noon. Turn the volume down a bit. Okay, this is still our single coil setting in the bridge. Pretty good from bass amp, so let's do the humbucker. Okay, you can see how I have the EQ set. The bass is about 3 o'clock, the treble is about 2, and the middle is about 2 as well. So that's when you get into the gain. So let's show the second channel. That's the higher gain channel. So what's great about this pedal great about this pedal is it's got 2 volume controls, so you can do one super high gain and cut the volume down like this one. This setting, you see I have the volumes at about, 7, 8 o'clock, gains all the way up at 3, so you can, and then you just flip between them. More normalized, crunchy 12 o'clock gain on this one with the volumes at 1, so okay, yeah, it's all been humbucker. Let's put a little P90 in there. Let's fiddle around with the knobs. Cut the P90 out for a second. Great controls on there. One thing I didn't like is, it's a universal EQ, so kind of, for me, it was set it and forget it. But a really cool feature is this bright switch. So we've been at -1 because I'm playing with a bass cab, but you can take it. No, actually, I was at 0. Check that. I was at 0. It has a brightness cut switch. Where you can cut a lot of the brightness out. You don't want to do it with a bass amp because you already got a substantial cut of brightness, but here's with -2, so it really chops the head off that. Especially with this bass amp, I feel like it completely chops the head off the tone. Basically killing the treble. See, even with the treble all the way up, we got almost nothing there. So let's flip the switch back to 0. So, I can understand their inclusion of this. It can be a kind of a harsh pedal, a harsh preamp section. So, having that cut switch is kind of, if you're going to include one switch, it does a lot there. Put it to -1. Just for a variety's sake, let's do a little bit of the neck pickup. Also a bare knuckle humbucker. Great tone. It's a great drop-in pedal for a bass rig if you just want to, you don't want to spend the money on a good guitar rig, or you don't want to spend the money on a crummy guitar rig. For the same amount of money you'd spend for, I don't know, an okay guitar, you can get this sort of thing that, just drops onto a bass rig and gives you a great, boutique level tone right from your bass amp with a guitar. Real tubes, real 2-channel performance for a crunch and a lead, or a clean and a lead, or a clean and a crunch. A lot of different options. So let's try that high gain. So again, this is the bridge pickup. Again, here's with that bright switch. It was at -1. This is -2, double bright cut. Definitely cuts the head off that tone. Definitely, I can understand the existence for it. I kind of like both of them. You know, when you cut that head off, it's definitely not it's a real thrash sound. Super harsh, so I can understand the inclusion of that. -1 could be where it's at. And just so you don't think that it's a one-trick pony, so we're on that high gain channel. Let's put a grid slammer in front of it. This is an overdrive pedal from Mesa. Kind of ridiculous that that's a bass amp, but you know, that's the Kraken for you. It's a great drop-in replacement for a you know, a guitar preamp for a bass pedal, or anytime you need a guitar preamp on its own. So I'm actually gonna disconnect this all and connect it up to a real guitar tone, a real guitar amp, and let you see some of that. So stay tuned. Hey, we're back again, and this time we have an actual guitar amp to test out our Kraken effects pedal from Victory Amplification. So I currently have this set up in a stomp box format. There's a bunch of different options I'll go over when I switch it up a bit, but I just want to you know, let you know what it sounds like as a stomp box. So we're running using a Mesa Boogie Mark V 25. Tiny little combo amp, probably the best combo amp out there, but I'm a bit biased. We're using the Cab Clone. Cab Clone is an outboards load box that Mesa makes that's actually built into this. So got the speaker switched off, and we're running through a you know, a standard mic cable into our mixer. So you know, let's get a feel for it. So here's the clean tone. We're doing all humbucker from our Les Paul. And a single coil sound. Now let's flip the pedal on. Going for kind of a low gain, a little bit of a crunch. We can turn everything down. A lot of control on the volumes here. You got 2 volumes for each of these flippable gain 1-2s. two knobs, not two channels, just two knobs, same circuit, just flip between two settings. Very nice. We got the bright at -1, so let's try -2. Let's mix it up. Here's a P90. Single coil. Second channel, or the second segment. Flip off that bright control. Let's try something different. This is another alternate way of wiring the pedal. You can see here there are quite a few inputs on the top. There's actually two styles. I actually had it in stomp box mode, but let's try. So this is actually where you can seed it through the effects loop. So we're going to show you here, plugged in. So we're going to go and bypass this amp's preamp. So excuse me one moment. Okay, so this is the the all-in. Basically, it puts your plug directly, your guitar's plugged directly into the effects box, and it splits out into the regular input. And when the pedal is disengaged, using your amp standard sounds, and then when you flip it on, that's weird. Bear with me one second. Sorry, I had it backwards. Yeah, so when you got it like that, you actually bypass your amp's preamp, and you get just the Kraken as your preamp to your amp. So using the power section of your amp, with the Kraken preamp. That sounds absolutely amazing. So here's the clean. And then with the Kraken. Let's use the Mesa's high gain, the extreme setting, the modern setting. Let's try that as a little 3-channel. So the Mesa, and then you just flip on the pedal, and you're in the Kraken's warm, light crunch. Quite amazing to just take all that output away. You hear like the Mesa. Heavy, and then we just completely bypass it and use the Kraken's preamp. So you can see the difference between using it as a stomp box and using it as, you know, as it's intended to just bypass your preamp. I turn any amp into a great boutique guitar amp, just, you know, with the press of a button. If you got everything wired incorrectly, anything that has an effects loop, just using any power section, I think it's a fantastic pedal. So definitely recommend it. You can see the versatility in it with a guitar amp. And one last thing, kind of a weird thing about this one. This pedal is 12 volts, positive polarity, 1 amp current. So, you know, on its own, none of those things is particularly difficult to find in a power supply. But combine all three, and you kind of have an unusual pedal here. The way I've gotten this one to work is I got a regular 12 volt 1 amp adapter from eBay with a standard size barrel plug, and I actually used this polarity reverser from an effects power supply kit that I had. So if you're looking for one of these online, check to make sure it comes with the power supply, and maybe you're lucky enough that it has one of these polarity reversers that you could plug right into you know, a regular power supply's 12 volt power supply, and then just reverse the polarity to be a positive, and you're all set. But, you know, just keep that in mind. And then just straight to the camera. Great pedal. Just before we wrap it up here, I just want to go over a little bit of a close-ups of the pedal itself. As you can see, it's got this great artwork. And it's got 7 knobs, 1 switch up here, 3-way switch for that bright cut. And then your gain 1, 2, not 2-channel, but 2 settings on there, as well as a bypass. Has a remote switch. So it is... Ooh, come on. So it is a remote switch, so if you wanted to mount this close to your amp, you could use it. And then here is some detail on the top. So you can see that 12 volt positive polarity in, or negative polarity. That was it. Was a negative polarity. My mistake about earlier. It's a negative polarity, but it's just hard to find a 12 volt negative polarity 1 amp adapter. So there's plenty of positive ones. That's your more off the shelf. But a negative one's more unusual. And then this is the mismatch of input. So the standalone mode, it walks you through it. Just input on guitar, and then it's not using the through or the loop. And it just comes out as an effect. So you just be using these two. And then when you use the through mode, you just guitar's input, and then that loops into your loop. As you can kind of see, I don't know, it'll probably be hard to see. There's vents here because we got some actual valves in there because it's a real tube preamp. And then just it's the Kraken valve overdrive you can see. Installed are V1 EC900 triode, V2, V3, V4, CV4014 small signal pentodes. Yeah. So again, designed and handmade in England by Victory Amplification, 30 St. John's Road, Woking, Surrey, England, GU 2175A. So, yeah, I'd recommend this pedal to anyone who's looking to looking for another preamp. I mean, if you're going to do stereo effects, this could be a cool preamp to drop on your pedal board with a little 50-watt power amp, and you got a whole nother section on the other side with just a another cab, a little speaker, or just to vary it up. Let's say you're running a very clean setup with like a Fender Twin Reverb. This will add a ton of crunch in there, ropes right in. Definitely a strong, versatile tool. I mean, you can see I was even using it as my whole guitar system, using the power amp for my bass pedal. It's a super versatile pedal. I would definitely recommend this to anyone looking for a whole new sound. Like in a box, you just got a whole new sound, a real tube preamp, push and pull, and all the real feel of tubes, just in a simple box. So, thanks for taking a look, and keep your eye out for one of these if it's might be something that you're looking for.